Task Force Nova Compass Hunter. Part 3. I had just finished killing a shit ton of knot deer in the Oregon woods with the Task Force Nova Compass Hunter team. Gary, Hugo, Jack, Charlie, and I received a phone call as Gary repeatedly screamed death threats at a guy over the phone who owed him money over a rigged game of poker. It was Zach, the monster hunter, who had wanted us with him, a fleet of military battleships, to the middle of the ocean to fight some fucking eldritch god. He had just said a cult leader released something called warrior anglers, also called the Nag Finna Walagi, from an underwater cave, and now they were headed for the surface. Zach was very busy. Apparently, he was in a underground cave system fighting arthropod monsters and wanted us to go fight and kill those bastards since we were the closest people to the area. I checked in with Smith, who approved of it and offered us a beautiful sum of moolah if we could kill the monsters. Apparently Smith and the other leaders had loosely partnered and had contracted with Zach and Sergio's organization. A few hours later, on a medium-sized boat, we drove a few miles out to sea where the warrior drones were last seen moving. The plan was to drop a shit ton of chum and dead bleeding fish right above the monster, then lure them to the top and run them all down. We could have just bombed the whole fucking place to holy hell, but the stupid superiors bitched out about collateral damage. How fucking long is it gonna take for these things to come? Gary asked. Not anytime soon, I said, staring into the water. Suddenly a huge monster came out of the bloody water and nearly bit my face off. And it would have if I didn't dodge it at the last second. Fuck! I pulled out a long kukri machete and sliced the head of the creature clean off. The head of the creature slid across the boat and landed right at the feet of Hugo, who just raised the eyebrow. And without warning, another one of those creatures jumped out the water and screamed at us. This creature was very similar to the angler, yet different. Its body was much more hunched and insectoid and had 4 long, jointed, and sharp, arachnid-like legs. Its upper body resembled a vaguely humanoid torso, but instead of arms, it had 2 spider-like legs coming out of its shoulders. The warrior angler drone also had 2 shorter appendages coming out below its arm. The pale-colored monster had an eyeless angler fish-like head with a huge hinged mouth filled with sharp teeth. The monster's head was strangely smooth, protomorphic, and more black than the rest of its body. 3 muscular tentacles coming out of the creature's torso, tipped with sharp fucking fangs like a vampire, bony appendages, and acting as additional weapons. And now the fun begins, Gary laughed. 2 more of the monsters jumped into the boat and screamed at us, quickly advancing. I resheathed my machete and grabbed a nearby pump-action shotgun and blasted off the heads of 2 of the creatures. Hugo in the very back of the ship was sniping out the warrior anglers climbing onto the ship. I could see a huge swarm of the motherfuckers swimming to the surface, screeching and clawing through the water. Charlie threw a grenade, who was out of ammo, and stabbing a warrior angler to death, which I just clipped both of our grenades together to make an avocado of death and threw it as deep into the water as possible. The 2 grenades sank and exploded just a few dozen feet beneath the boat, rocking the boat beneath us. Dozens of incapacitated deaf warrior anglers floated to the surface. Then we realized something was happening. At least 100 warrior drones were circling the boat, and each one took turns of biting chunks out of the thick steel. Fuck me, lads, Jack yelled. They're trying to sink us. I tossed an incendiary grenade into the water, testing the effects of fire on the anglers. When the incendiary grenade blew up, it killed at least 5 times the amount that the regular grenade killed. despite this grenade being smaller. Fire! I said. These fuckers are scared of fire. I looked into the water. Smith better be giving me a fucking raise. There was a deep snorkeling mask somewhere on the boat. And along with that, I retrieved a long coil of rope and I tied it to my belt and handed the other end to Gary. Alright, tie this to the rail guard. Why? Just fucking do it, man. I'm already concerned about leaving my life in your hands. When I tug this twice, pull me the fuck back to the surface. Got it? Maybe. Fuck this. I threw our last incendiary grenade and waited for it to cool, and I put the snorkel mask on and jumped into the frigid water. And oh hell, it was cold. In the sudden moment where there was no warrior anglers because of the recent grenade blast, I was free to swim without getting attacked. When I got under the ship, I saw at least a dozen warrior anglers in the water, and I quickly killed the first few that I saw. As soon as the other ones noticed me, I pulled out my pistol and emptied the magazine. Most of the bullets missed, but a few met their targets. One of the monsters swarmed and tackled me, biting at my head as I tried to desperately dodge and evade it. I found a free spot as it bit, and I stabbed into his neck with a combat knife in my other hand, and I left it there and kicked the bleeding, thrashing monster into the depths. I swam back under the boat and finished the other ones off when the last angler swam up to me at lightning fast speed and ripped my snorkeling mask clean off, leaving me disorientated and my vision blurred. I stabbed into the motherfucker as much as possible, then I tugged the line twice. Gary never pulled me back up, and as that happened, I saw a vaguely human body sink in the distance. I quickly swam up and climbed into the boat. What the fuck, Gary? Hugo screamed. Couldn't stop or see whatever was happening since he was killing the other warrior anglers on the other side of the boat. Charlie was nowhere to be seen. Hugo shoved Gary, yet the ladder didn't fall. What the fuck are you mad at me for? Gary shot back. You just fucking killed Charlie. What the fuck? What the fuck? Your irresponsibility and goofing around finally got a team member killed. The fuck are you saying? Gary yelled. I didn't kill him. How the fuck is this my fault? While you were recklessly laughing and kicking one of those fucking monsters, you kicked Charlie's leg and he slid into the water and instantly sunk. I didn't fucking mean to. Shut the fuck up already. I feel bad enough as it is. That's fucking it, Hugo said. The older man punched Gary straight in the face. Gary recoiled and kicked Hugo in the stomach, then followed up with a shove. Hey, break it the fuck up. I pushed both of them away from each other. You don't fucking get it, do you? Hugo snapped at me. That bastard just fucking killed one of our teammates while goofing the fuck off. We don't have time for this, I said, feeling the guilt in my words. I'm sorry about Charlie, but we need to finish the job. We need to kill these fuckers. I walked over to Gary and had a quick, heated conversation with him as he explained everything that had happened. Apparently, a stubborn angler wasn't dying, so Gary started laughing and blindly kicking at the wounded monster. But he ended up accidentally kicking Charlie's leg. It made him slip into the water on the other side of the boat. With all the gear and weapons weighing Charlie down, he instantly sank and got swarmed, drowning and getting eaten. Charlie was a huge fucking asshole and a sociopath, yet he was my teammate. And when you're in the military in a squad, your squad mates are your brothers. And even unintentionally, Gary had killed Charlie. But I knew that when someone in the war died, you couldn't stop the battle just to grieve over them. And frankly, I didn't have the time or care to grieve, even though I felt massive guilt over that. But Charlie was one of Hugo's friends. Gary, looks like your fucking antics finally caught up with you. But let's deal with that later. Charlie's dead and we'll have to deal with that later back on shore because nothing's going to change that. Right on, Gary said numbly. Even he looked slightly guilty for the unconscious killing of Charlie. I looked into the deep water and saw at least 100 of those monsters surfacing up directly at us. Oh, we need to get the fuck off this ship and blow this place up. Really, jackass? How the hell do you expect us to do that? Got it, Gary. Pulled a large inflatable dinghy with a small motor out of the lower deck. Good. We all started pouring gasoline onto the deck of the boat and started collecting all the explosive grenades and spare gasoline and put it all in one huge pile in the middle of the boat. We made a dry spot without the gasoline and poured a trail of it leading to the pile of the explosives. We got into the boat, turned it on, and I fastballed a lit Zippo lighter into the gasoline trail. Go, go, go! Let's get the fuck out of here! Gary screamed. I couldn't agree more. I turned the motor onto full speed just as a little scary motherfucker from the sea surfaced and climbed into the boat. I watched as the tiny gasoline trail grew to the large puddles of flammable liquid, and the whole boat blew up and killed at least everything under it for 50 feet. I looked at the surface of the water and saw at least 100 dead monsters float and die. Later, an extreme deep diving team found what remained of Charlie on the ocean floor. His remains were shipped to California to his brother and what other family he had. In the end, the mission was a success. We had killed every last warrior angler from the cave system and had done it without drawing attention. Besides all the sharks and unknown organisms that came to the dead angler feeding frenzy, I was paid in a healthy 6-digit sum, and so were the others. But Kala Tigathulkalu was coming.